Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. This Wednesday evening we will be reading from the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And in our last discourses, we have seen how Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself, that Brahman incarnated in human form and teaching us, giving us the guidance to spiritual life. And it was so deep, the deep philosophy and the exalted life. Now and then he is going into samadhi. And the people around him, they used to look at him with awe, couldn't understand that this person, this moment going into samadhi, next moment coming back and talking with us, this is a really, really unique personality. So friends, as usual, let us begin with this pranam mantra, and then we will start reading. Tavo kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bhiriditam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. His words are helping us to go beyond the suffering. We suffer from different, the Hindus, the traditional way they believe that the suffering, the misery, the problem, it comes from 5 different places. From the nature, from 3 different places particularly, from the nature, from people around us, and from myself. So they say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And these sufferings in the Yoga Sutra, they say there are because of the ignorance. And what is that ignorance? We think this world as permanent and try to get our joy, our happiness, our permanency from this world. But our daily experience say it is so temporary. Every moment is moving out, passing, changing. But still, we believe that it is a permanent thing, and we like to get the permanent happiness out of this. And the suffering goes in a circle way, and that is the ignorance. And what is the job of the avatars, incarnations? They come in human form, they grow up, they born and they grow up in the just like any one of us. But then they start living in such a way that we all wonder, how come they are so happy? How come they are in everything, but at the same time, they are not attached with anything? This technique we have to understand, and that is the ultimate of spirituality. Understanding the technique to live in this world happily. That is called spirituality, that technique. And sa chaturi, chaturi, sometimes in our scripture they say, chaturi means the intelligence, the way you can perform your duty, your work. And sometimes some people, they are so intelligent and they can manage everything. But the Upanishad says, the scripture says, no, that is not the actual intelligence. The sa chaturi, chaturi, that which will help you to go beyond the bondage, that is actually the intelligence. And how to go beyond the bondage? We have to understand what is this bondage. And then we have to not only understanding, but at the same time, we have to know how to overcome it. Why? Because this is our own attachment. So there, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning this. Last time, in the last week, the one young boy, he was asking, what is this that we cannot, sir, have we any free will? So obviously, the scriptures say everything he has done, everything he has done. If that is so, then shall we try or not? Sri Ramakrishna gave the reply from the Advaitic point of view. He said, that we read last time, that who are you? Just try to find out who this I. And we discussed in the last week, the I means when we say I, we always identify this body, and along with the body, everything, like the family, the society, the culture, the language, it is I associated, everything. Now, where is this I? If we can understand the I, we understand everything. And when we go to find out this I, we find that actually there is nothing. So there are two different views. One school of Buddhism, they say that there is nothing. From nothing everything has come. That is the way they express. But the Vedanta says that there is something. What is that something? Consciousness. And that consciousness, unless and until you become pure, you won't be able to understand that. You can feel there is something. How? And always the Vedantin, they will say the three stages, Jagrat, Sapna, Susupti. When you are awake, you are associated with the body, you are associated with the mind, and also the consciousness, otherwise how we are acting. Now when we sleep, one is minus, body goes away. We are not conscious about the body. As long as we are conscious about the body, we cannot sleep. Every day we can experience that. And when we forget about the body, we go into the dream world. That means the mind is active. The mind which got the impressions of the past and then imagining something, and all the beautiful dreams are coming, sometimes fearful dreams are coming, all that dream. And time will come when even the mind is also absent, but still we are surviving. There is no body, there is no mind, but still we survive, and that proves the consciousness. Then obviously, when that is proved, the consciousness is proved, we have to go to that consciousness. Apparently there is nothing, but there is, of course, something, that is consciousness. There are many times we have said, almost all the Vedantic teachers will say, the story that a young boy came and he was asking, can you please show me what is this Brahman? That the teacher told, well, go and bring a fig. He brought a fig. Then break the fig. And there were so many tiny little seeds are there. Take out one seed. He took out that tiny little seed. Break it. It's so difficult even to break that. When he broke the teacher asked, what is there? The reply was nothing. But the teacher said, there is. It is something. Asti, they say, asti, it is there. Understanding that is called spirituality. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is guiding us. Everything is made of that consciousness. In the Gita, in the 7th chapter and the 7th verse, it says, Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, the Arjuna, Matta parataram nanyat. From me, beyond me, there is nothing. Me means that supreme consciousness. Sometimes some people take that this is only Krishna. Again, the narrow path we follow by taking that meaning. It's not Krishna. Though the Lord Krishna, the God Krishna is mentioning, but at that moment, that supreme being, that consciousness took Krishna form. Only this much if we understand, then narrowness goes away, and that we understand it more clearly, more better way. From me nothing is there, that me, that consciousness. And this consciousness, parataram na anyat, beyond this nothing is there. That means I am everything. In the same chapter, in other chapters also, the Lord again and again said that He is the Father, He is giving everything. Moyoi Vaite Nihata Purvameva. We discussed all this in our last class. Even then, after hearing these, after reading these, after trying to understand these, again that I comes. And when that I comes, I am reading, I am listening, I am doing, I am understanding better. This I is the root of all problem. Now, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he not only said this, he expressed also. And that is the uniqueness in his character. Usually the holy people, they will be always very serious type, not meeting others, not going to different places, very serious type. But Sri Ramakrishna is completely different. This is the uniqueness. Usually the people, they don't like to get entangled in the family, they don't marry, or even they are married, they will leave the wife and the children and they will go away. Like that, the Buddha, the Gautama Buddha did, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, and many. Shankaracharya never married. Sri Ramakrishna is exactly so very normal. He not only married, he kept his wife with him, but at the same time, no body consciousness. This uniqueness. And that is why Swami Vivekananda mentioned about Sri Ramakrishna, Avatara Barishtaya. Not that he was his guru, so he was praising. No, there are wonderful qualities. This time, same God. We are not comparing. We are not making that he is little and he is higher, not like that. It's a not lower, higher thing. It's the expression of the same consciousness at different time, in different form, and different manner, different way. Sri Ramakrishna, this time, he is showing us, even if you are in the household life, in the samsara, and at the same time you can be completely free. And that Sri Ramakrishna is now behaving in a very unique way. He is mentioning that in the state of knowledge, all upadhis are destroyed. Now this Sanskrit terminology, upadhi. Upadhi means, again he is mentioning that all upadhi means I am a scholar, I am a jnani, I am wealthy, I am honorable, I am the master, father, teacher, so many ways. That's called upadhi. In Sanskrit, upadhi, all these things that is accumulated. But what is this I associated with this body and mind? And when this body is not there, mind is also none there, then where all those things will go? Where the fatherhood goes, where the teacherhood goes. If we understand that, we can be father, we can be teacher, we can be master, we can be anyone in this world, but at the same time free. Shankaracharya, he used this particular condition, living in the world, but at that same time not bound by the world. And he said that is the purpose of human life. Jivan mukti sukha prapti hetave janma dharitam. That's called Jivan mukta. It is a mukta, it is a liberated while living. Now again, liberated and in the bondage, what is their attachment? This world, again and again we have to understand this, this world, though beautiful, though they are, it is there, but at the same time constantly changing. In the pages of the history, if we go through, just see how things have changed. Look at our own life. The grandfather, no more. Mother, no more. Parents, no more. So many friends were there, no more. The situation where we were born changed. Everything is changing. Forget about that. Go and stand before the mirror. Body is changing. Every day body is changing. And mind, thought, that is also changing. But why can't we believe it? Can't we take it seriously? That is the very unique way that God Himself created and then binding through, in the Sanskrit that it says in the Veda, Maya. It is there, but difficult to explain. It is either Sat, it is there, you cannot say. It is not there, you cannot say. Sanna, asanna, ubhaya upina. Ubhaya upina. It is neither, it is truth, not it is untruth. And both you cannot, but it is there. So Maya, that is the word, by that way we can understand, though I am God, but I am not understanding. Why? Because of the upadhis. So what should we do? We have to listen to God, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and carefully we have to be detached from that. How? Now, in the page 805, the English book, and in this also, in the Bengali, it is 865. That big complete volume, Bengali Kathamrita, published by the Udbodhan, 865 page, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, in the state of knowledge, all upadhis are destroyed. When the log is burnt up entirely, there is no more sound, no heat either. Everything cools down. Then he says, peace, peace, peace. Then he turned to Narendra, the afterwards famous Swami Vivekananda. There was two Naren. The one was Swami Vivekananda. Every time Master Masha mentioning in the Gospel Narendra, and another was Choto Naren. Choto Naren means he was the junior. He was also Naren. He used to come there too. The Sri Ramakrishna turned to our Narendra, Vivekananda, and asked him to sing. Narendra, I must go home. I have many things to do. The moment he said that Sri Ramakrishna, that God, who was the Guru, who was teaching us, and he was teaching the highest philosophy, Advaita Vedanta. To think that who are you? He is asking that. Now he is saying, yes, yes, my child, why should you listen to us? The words of those who have gold in their ears are valuable. No one listened to him who hasn't even a rag round his waist. All started laughing. Now this is a completely different Sri Ramakrishna, as if a friend. Narendra, his disciple, and he is behaving with Narendra as if a friend, just leg pulling. Oh, why should you listen to us? Because we don't have wealth. And we are poor people, ordinary people. You will go to those who have that. So that way he is leg pulling Narendra. And all are enjoying. Friends, that's why this is the face of the God, human face of God. This human face of God, he is just as if he is ours, just like us. But at the same time, he is completely controlling everything. It's so difficult to understand. The Sri Ramakrishna is so natural, so normal. He is not lifting the hill on a finger like the Sri Krishna did. He is not controlling the ocean by raising his bow and arrow as Sri Ramachandra did. And he is not doing anything like the Jesus did. And from the dead he came back to life, nothing like that. But he is the unique. Why? Because this moment is just like us. Next moment, before us, among us, living within us. He is going to the supreme condition, that is samadhi. The Sri Ramakrishna, now he is making fun with Narendra. Well, why should you listen to us? And it is a Bengali proverb, the song is there. Those who are not having the ring, golden ring in their ear, that means that they are not rich people. So, no, the naturally rich people, what everybody will listen, powerful, rich, and then naturally people will listen to them, and they will go to them. And who will listen to the poor people? All are laughing. all understood that he is just leg pulling Narendra. You frequent the garden house of Guhas. I always hear about it. Whenever I ask, where is Narendra today? I am told, oh, he has gone to Guhas. I should not have said all these things, but you have wringed them out of me. Narendra, he said, I have to go home. And that Sri Ramakrishna, he is just like as if he is the same age and same friend, and say that I never would have not said all these things before everyone. That's because you have denied and showing that friends, can we find the same equal thing in anyone's life? I don't know. But these persons, Sri Ramakrishna, he is behaving. Now again, Sri Narendra kept quiet a few moments. Then he said, there are no instrument to accompany me. Shall I just sing? Then the master again, Sri Ramakrishna again, he said, my child, this is all we have. Please sing, if it suits you. You must know how Balaram arranges things. Now again, Balaram. The Balaram was his very favorite disciple. And he visited Balaram's house more than 100 times. He himself said that Balaram's food is very pure, like the prasad of Jagannatha. So this Balaram, naturally, he used to spend money in a very, we should say, no, he was not a miser, but he was careful. Why to waste the money? That is the thing. Now Sri Ramakrishna having the fun and jokes with the Balaram. He said, my child, this is all we have. Please sing, if it suits you. You must know how Balaram arranges things. Now that is called the human face of God. Balaram says to me, please come to Calcutta by boat. Take a carriage only if you must, because the boat is the less price and the carriage is little costly. Balaram was a rich man. He was a landlord. But Sri Ramakrishna is just making fun because he used to say like that. Not that he is criticizing. Sometimes some people, they misunderstand Sri Ramakrishna. While reading these, sometimes he will say, why they are criticizing? He is not. It's just the fun. He used to love him so much. So he only could say like this. Sometimes the children, they will be having fun with their parents also. They respect their father, respect their mother. But even then they will say to their mother, they will say, your old man. The son is telling to mother, your old man, indicating the father. So that sometimes it is always there because they love so much. When Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning all this about Balaram, that shows his love, not only Sri Ramakrishna. This Balaram Bose was loved by each and everyone. Narendranath, Swami Vivekananda, afterwards, when he was touring all over India, that's called Paribrajaka, he came to know that Balaram Bose has passed away. And he was crying loudly, and other people, they were wondering what happened to him. Then when he explained that one of our Guru Bhais, the brother disciple, he was also the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and is a great householder, passed away. Someone says, you are crying, you are a monk, you are a sannyasi, you are supposed to be free. This is the uniqueness of Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna mission, Ramakrishna monks. So no hypocrisy. As they say, that only showing up, never ever. So he said, do you think by being a monk I have made my mind stone? Shall I not feel for them? We grew up together. We were together. And shall we not feel? That is the uniqueness. No hypocrisy at all. This is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. This human face, when we see, the Balaram says to me, please come to Calcutta by boat. Take the carriage only if you must. Then all are laughing because they know the Balaram Babu says like that. He himself used to live in a very simple way. You see, he has given us a feast today. So this afternoon he will make us all dance. And that means actually it is nothing like that. Even today, the sannyasins, when they will go to visit somebody's house, or even to the ashrama sometimes, when they go together, they will quote from here and say, today he has given us the feast and now he will ask us to dance. Dance means you have to speak, you have to perform something like that. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioned, and all are laughing, all laughing. One day he hired a carriage for me from here to Dakshineshwar. He said that the carriage hire was 12 annas. I said to him, will the coachman take me to Dakshineshwar for 12 annas? Oh, that will be plenty, he replied. One side of the carriage broke down before we reached Dakshineshwar. All laughed. Besides, the horse stopped every now and then. It simply would not go. Once in a while, the coachman whipped the horse and then it ran a short distance. All laughed. Now we can understand all those people, they are enjoying so much when Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning this. But again I should tell and I should remind, we should not take wrongly that Sri Ramakrishna criticizing Balaram. No. This is the fun, this is the human face. And that is the uniqueness of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And I have noticed it even in today's Swamis. I have seen that the 10th president of the Ramakrishna order, Swami Bireshwarananda Ji Maharaj, and we were novices, brahmachari in Advaita Ashram. And he used to come to Advaita Ashram, Calcutta, for some meeting. He was also the trustee of the Advaita Ashram. It's a different, separate trust was there. And the other senior Swamis used to come. And they will have fun among themselves, of the same age group. They'll be having some fun. There was the one Swamiji was there. He was the disciple of Ma Sharadamani Devi, and another Swami, our Bireshwarananda Ji Maharaj, was enjoying that these two are having some fun among themselves. So that way we have seen also these great souls, but at the same time so natural, so normal, so human, and that gives us the hope. The religious life doesn't mean that you have to be dry. Religious life means joy, happiness, but not hurting others. Whom we love most, we can say something about him, but whom we don't, we'll never say, because we don't know him, how he will react. The Sri Ramakrishna sitting in the house of Balaram Bosh, and among his disciples, he is having all this fun. Balaram gave 12 anna, and that was sufficient. And naturally, the carriage was very old horse, old coach, that person who was driving, and it was not good, it broke. All these things he was telling, and people were laughing. Besides, the horse stopped every now and then. It simply won't go. Once in a while, the coachman whipped the horse, and then it ran a short distance. The program for the evening in the Ram will play on the drum, and we shall all dance. Ram has no sense of rhythm. The Ram has no sense of rhythm, and he is going to play the drum without rhythm, and we have to dance. So all are laughing, listening to all this. Anyhow, that is Balaram's attitude. Sing yourself, dance yourself, and make yourself happy. He just opened the home, that house, and you sit over here and make yourself happy. So this is Sri Ramakrishna. On page 804, we were reading very high philosophy. Next page, almost the same 805, this we are finding the human face of the Supreme God. That this Sri Ramakrishna, anyone comes near him, listen to him, read about him, cannot but love him. That this very simple person is the highest manifestation of the spirituality. You know why? Because he is not bound by anything. Sometimes some Swamis, some holy people, they are careful that people around them should not think that they are not holy person. That's why they are very much alert. It is also another form of I, the ego. I am a holy person. I am not supposed to laugh. I am a holy person. I am not supposed to do this way, that. Sri Ramakrishna was completely different. He was a child. Panchavarsha bala bhava. In the one stotra is there. He was just like a 5 years old child. So simple. He was there, but at the same time not attached to anything. Other devotees were arriving. Mahendra Mukherjee saluted the master from a distance. Now again you see, Sri Ramakrishna returned the salute. Then he salamed to Mahendra like a Musalman. You know that different customs are there. The very modern, particularly in America and other places, they greet by shaking hands. Europe and America, they greet hands. In Japan, they will be bowing down. And in China also, because of the Buddhist influence, they will be bowing at the same time, folding the hands. In India, we do both the hands folded like this. We bow a little. That's called namaskar. So that is also the greetings. And the Muslims, in the right hand, they will touch their forehead like this, and that is called salam. And that is a maybe Urdu word, I don't know, maybe Arabic. So that they are making this way. Sri Ramakrishna, when the devotee came, the Mahendra Mukherjee, in the beginning he said namaskar, and then so that is the fun. He was in that mood. He salamed, but the Mahendra didn't notice it. So he is telling, the Sri Ramakrishna is asking the young devotee who was next to him, hey, why don't you tell him that I salam to him? He will appreciate it. How you will explain Sri Ramakrishna? So this is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. So this simplicity, no ambiguity, and no fear of criticism from the society, how a holy person behaving like this, nothing. He never cared. Why? Because he was God himself. So suppose the king, he is roaming inside his palace, he will be free, going and touching this tree, plucking a flower, patting the horse, shouting and calling someone, because he is king. But the others are very, very cautious. They should not do, I should not do this way. Maybe the king will be angry if I do like that. This is the difference. That they will be behaving properly, constantly thinking, by any way I am not going to make the king displeased, unhappy with me. This is the difference. When the God is there among the human being, he behaves like that because he knows he is God. So this is the human face of God, and I really liked this page when I was reading, and many of the householder devotees were accompanied by their wives and other women relatives. That was the car festival. So all they have come to Balaram's house. You will wonder, even today, the same function every year it goes on. The Balaram, basically, they were from the Odisha. So obviously, the influence of, the great influence of the God and Jagannath Mahaprabhu was there on them. So whoever they followed Jagannath Mahaprabhu, and once in a year they say, the story goes in this way, the God will be going from one place to another and he will go in the chariot. There are one brother, one sister, and the God himself, the three chariots they will pull, and sometimes in one they will put all the three and they will pull. This is the joy of the devotees, having different type of programs, functions, celebrations, pujas, and by that way, that very moment together they remember God. That this is the day, so all were very happy that they came, and all the devotees are coming with their families. They wanted to salute the master and watch his dancing before the car. Ram, Girish and other devotees gradually assembled. Many young devotees were present, and Narendra started singing, "Oh, when will dawn the blessed day," etc. So he went on singing. He sang again, "In dense darkness, O Mother, the formless beauty sparkles." Balaram had arranged for Kirtan with Vaishnava Charan, the musician. Vaishnava Charan sang. Now friends, in the tradition, Vaishnava, those who are worshipping Vishnu are Vaishnava. From the Vishnu, that those who are worshipping, so they call it Vaishnava. What is Vishnu? I said many a times, you must have heard and know. Vishnu means all pervasiveness. Vistar eti Vishnu. And that Vishnu is having a form. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, he will be having that form. And from that Vishnu, the Jagannath is also the symbol of that Vishnu. From that Vishnu, Sri Ramachandra. From that Vishnu, Sri Krishna. And those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you also know it is the same Vishnu who has taken the human form this time in modern time as Sri Ramakrishna. So this Vishnu, those who are following the Lord Vishnu, that is a different way, that is called Vaishnava. They will be worshipping, they will be taking the name and some of the rituals that naturally, slowly they grow up, and that is called Vaishnava. But there is another, that is called Tantra. So Narendra was singing, "O Mother," that means Tantra. Tantra is Shakti, the power. Tanyate, Vistaryate, Enam, Ganena, Iti, Tantram. This knowledge, that means the knowledge of all inclusiveness. What is that knowledge of inclusiveness? Power. Power is everywhere with the consciousness. So the form is Lord Shiva, that is the consciousness. On that the power, Lord's power in the form of Kali. So that is another form. A group of people, they followed that way, and that is also accepted way in the Hinduism called Tantra. Tanyate Vistaryate iti. Again that all pervasiveness. Look at it. Vaishnava, all pervasiveness. Tantra, all pervasiveness. Vedanta, and they also, Advaita Vedanta, Brahman, all pervasive consciousness. That is Hinduism. But they take three different major paths, the Vedanta, Tantra and Vaishnavism, so that any one of their own attitude, temperament, aptitude, they can accept any path they like, but will reach the same goal. And that is why so broadness is there in Hinduism. Whether you are following the path of Shakti, no problem. It was the festival of Jagannath Mahaprabhu. He is the symbol of the Vishnu. So the Vaishnava Charan will sing another type of bhajan, that is praising the God in the form of Vishnu. But Narendranath sang, that was also appreciated. There is no conflict. This uniqueness of Hinduism, all accepting attitude, that is true Hinduism. So here Sri Ramakrishna, the symbol of all religions, he is appreciating Narendra's song, he is appreciating these Vaishnava Charans also. Vaishnavacharan was very famous singer in those days. He is singing, when Sri Ramakrishna had heard a line or two of the song, he went into samadhi again. So almost in every page we find how Sri Ramakrishna, this moment, so very natural, normal, human, next moment, he is a yogi and he reaches to the samadhi in almost in no effort. That uniqueness, many of the times in his biography it is there, the village people not understanding this uniqueness. Sometimes he is going into samadhi means almost there is no breathing. Whole body is standing erect. When the eyes are opened, it is open. And he is not blinking. There was a doctor, a scientist. He went and put his finger on the eyeball of the Sri Ramakrishna just to taste whether it blinks or not. It is so sensitive. The eyeball is so sensitive. If something is coming near, immediately it will blink. But Sri Ramakrishna was not. So they used to say, here is a man, a person who dies this moment and comes back to life next moment. This is the unique Sri Ramakrishna. When he heard the song, immediately his mind, which was not attached in this world, not bound in this world, went to that ultimate consciousness. He went into samadhi. He stood up in the ecstatic mood. The younger Naren supported him. The master's face was lighted with a smile. Gradually, his body became motionless. His mind appeared to have gone to another realm. All the devotees in the room looked at him in amazement. The women devotees watched the scene from behind the screen. After a long time, he came down from the samadhi, chanting the holy name of God. Friends, that here also we find a social picture. In those days, at the time of Sri Ramakrishna, the women, they were not free to mix with the male people. So they had another apartment which will be covered, but they could see from behind. So they could see what is happening in this room, but the male won't be able to see them. That was Hinduism. Maybe in some parts of India, still it is there. And sometimes the village ladies, they will be covering their faces. Maybe the Europe, they don't understand this. This is the way they grew up. And it is too much in other countries also. Some movements are going on in the name of freedom. That is also good. But how it changed? When Sri Ramakrishna himself was there, that time the women used to come, but they will be always behind the curtain. Ma Sharadamani Devi also lived almost all her life in Dakshineshwar. But then Sri Ramakrishna, in one time, he said to the Gauri Ma, and she was a sannyasini and she was very well read. And Sri Ramakrishna said, Gauri, I pour water and you give the shape. That means give the education to the women. That was the first time. The God, he knew that the women needs education so that they get back their self-confidence. They can come out, help the society. A society cannot fly without the help of the women. Swami Vivekananda afterwards introduced that. And he said again and again, a bird cannot fly without the two wings. And the male and female are nothing but the two wings. And in the Bhagavata we find the God, when he is creating the human being, he first created himself, half man, half woman. Not he created the man and out of man he carved out a woman. No. In Hinduism, it is God himself made half man, half woman, and then it becomes Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa, These were the two names. So the equal form, that is the freedom. Freedom in Hinduism, freedom in Vedanta. All are free. Sometimes because of the social, political, economical condition, it happens. Now slowly the freedom is coming, and now it is all there, but with all decency. So Sri Ramakrishna, he is now coming back. We just read, and sometimes some people, they ask question, why it is written over here, the women were looking at him from behind a curtain. Because of this, the social condition. As the master sat down, so Vaishnava Charan sang again. Then he sang, one after another these songs are going on. Sri Ramakrishna was very fond of this type of songs. Now why? Again, some of the religions, they don't like songs. In religious practice, we don't understand that. The song is the expression of love, devotion. So the words, if we read, the composition, if we read, how it is coming out. And with the tune, with the music, naturally it goes much deeper into the mind and gives a wonderful change in our thoughts. That is the song. It was afternoon. In the meantime, the small car of Jagannath, decorated with flowers, flags, and other things, brought in the inner veranda. The image of Jagannath, Subhadra, Balarama. The Jagannath is that Supreme Lord, and the Subhadra is the sister, and Balarama is the brother, were adorned with sandal paste, flower, garland, robes and jewelries. Sri Ramakrishna left the room where the professional musicians were singing and came to the veranda accompanied by the devotees. Friends, we are reading this chapter for last few days. And this is the moment has come when that chariot will move now. He stood in front of the car and pulled it by the rope. He began to sing and dance with the devotees in front of the car. Behold, the two brothers have come who weep while chanting Hari's name. I don't know whether you have listened to this song or not. One of our Swamiji is a very young Swami, but he sings well. At this moment I can't remember his name, but he sang this song so well. Whenever I hear this song, you are transported to this particular scene where Sri Ramakrishna himself is singing and dancing. Some of the functions in Belur Math, it is all there in the Belur Math website. If you see, the young Swamis are dancing, and it is not like other dances, it is an expression of joy, and that comes out through the physical and the way movement, that much. It's not the classical dancing or some other Bharat, nothing like that. Just expression of joy and some of the movements of the legs and hands. But the main thing, whole mind goes with the words. And when he says, behold, look, see, two brothers have come who weep while chanting Hari's name. It is the Gauranga and Nityananda. Again, when we are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it needs us to go back and forth with the social and historical and geographical, and different things are all connected with this. There was a great movement nearly 500 years before Sri Ramakrishna, and that was led by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His another name is Gauranga. Anga means the body, Gaura means the complexion, the bright complexion. So that person, his name was Gauranga, and there was another, his friend came, he was an Abadhuta. Abadhuta is a concept of one type of sannyasi, those who can live in the household and or without, but they are completely free. So that is the Abadhuta. So he was also there, Nityananda. So they used to go and the people used to say they're brothers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the avatar. He was a great soul. But Nityananda, he was having the wives and the family, but at the same time, he was 100% devoted to God. When these two used to move and sing and dance, the whole Bengal will follow them. All those local people used to come. There was a time a great challenge came for the Hinduism because of the foreign aggressions and the change of the culture and religion. So that was the time the God Supreme came in that form and made the religion so simple so that everyone can follow that. By that way, the Hinduism was saved. And when they used to sing and dance, they used to cry in the name of God. We all go to temple, we pray to God, and we do that. Just everybody is doing, we also do like that. Or I have a problem, so I try to get some help from the providence. So I go, but where is love? That is the thing Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning through the song. And when they take the name of Hari, Hari means that God Supreme, particularly the Krishna, and they used to cry because they used to love Krishna. They can't talk to Krishna, they can't see Krishna. Obviously, that is the pang, that is the suffering in the mind. They used to cry. Behold, two brothers, the Gauranga and Nityananda indicating, have come who weep while chanting Hari's name. He sang again, see how all Nadia is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love. The Vaishnavism, they have different schools. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, being in Bengal, he was following and appreciating the Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj. This Gaudiya means in those days, that was the Gouda, that was the capital of Bengal, and the Gaudiya Samaj that grew up over there. They sing only Kirtan. Not all the Vaishnavas they sing. In the South India, the Vaishnavas, they don't sing Hare Krishna. Or if you go to the north or east of India, there also Vaishnavism is there, but they don't sing Hare Krishna. Only this Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj, which is now represented by the ISKCON, International Krishna Consciousness. They are followers of the Gaudiya philosophy. So obviously this Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj, this Sri Ramakrishna is appreciating that and assuming that form, Sri Ramakrishna himself, that God. And when he is singing and he is dancing, we can imagine the spiritual fervor, spiritual atmosphere that transformed all minds. Blessed are those people who were present over there. Those gentlemen, those ladies, those children, all those people who came to attend that, they all were blessed to see the God, and they are dancing over there. It's not a very big place. You know that naturally, of course, he was a jamindar, he was a landlord, so house was big house, particularly the passage, the veranda as they call it, that is also a little, but not that big. But people used to dance on that. Even today they will be doing that. Those who are near in Calcutta, you can go and see, and the same thing, and can remember Sri Ramakrishna. You know what is Tirtha Jatra, pilgrimage? Remembering this. When you are visiting the Balaram Mandir, that Balaram house, the residence of the Balaram Bosch, which they have donated to Ramakrishna Mission, now it is an ashrama. When you go over there, we should remember all this. And then only we get the spiritual benefit. Because Sri Ramakrishna was there. He was walking, dancing, singing. All those devotees were there. And that gives the benefit of holy place, pilgrimage. Thank you, friends. I think I should stop over here. Maybe one or two questions are there. And Thank you once again.
Birendra, Birendra Majumdar is asking, our mind is scattered in this physical samskara. How do we, the family members, family persons, have no way? We can pray to Sri Sri Thakur and Ma. It appears he's all pervading, but we cannot realize this.
Birendra, don't worry about all this. Whether the samsara, whether mind is scattered or not, whether all that is all, it will be there always. Whether you are facing that thing or some people, those who are living in another place, maybe in the Himalaya, are facing different type of problem. As long as you are there in the samsara, there will be problem. Now, if we constantly think, oh, let the waves stop, then I will go and bathe in the ocean. Do you think the waves of the ocean will stop ever? Never. So, we have to take the name of Lord. Two things. First, have complete faith that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the Lord, the God, He is there. Though we can't see, but He is present. Take His name with love and pray to Him with the wholeheartedly. It will be answered, because He Himself said that God can listen even to the sound of the jingle sound if it is there on the feet of an ant. You can imagine everything, it reaches to God. Only faith and pray. Thank you.
Vijay has a two-part question. First part is, please tell us the right way to perform Sharanagati to God.
BG, your question has been answered by Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna when he said that one person asked in the same way, he said, can you cry? That is the answer. So we can cry on so many different occasions, we can cry. But can we cry for God, love of God? The God, I am growing every day. The day the sun is setting means I am one step in front of the grave when I am going to die. So obviously there is not much time left for me. What will happen to me? All alone. If you can cry, that is called Sharanagati. That is called self-surrender. Can you cry? That's Ramakrishna's question. Now you have to answer. Yes, I can, and with all love. Thank you.
Second part, can we say that as long as you see this world as an illusion, you want to live in isolation, but once you regard this world as manifestation of God, you start enjoying everything in this world just like Sri Ramakrishna did?
No, this is very tricky thing, If you are accepting this world as true and then leaving, you may be happy, but that is a temporary happiness. If you read in the Bhagavad Gita, it gives I think in the 18th chapter, the sattvic happiness, rajasic happiness and tamasic happiness. And in the rajasic happiness, in the beginning it is very good, very pleasant, but at the end it is very painful. So be very, very careful. You have to understand that this world is temporary and it can never give me permanent happiness. And if I love this and get attached to this and want the appreciation of these worldly people, then I am bound and I have to come back once again. So be careful. And the spiritual path means that Sri Ramakrishna is completely free. We should have to be free, but before that we have to free. That is why we have to keep in our mind always and every moment that this world is temporary. Again, if you have read the Gospel and the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, I would suggest to read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, where he is mentioning how the turtles, they live in the water, but their mind always remains to that place where they have laid their egg. How a lady working in the maid maid servant working in the rich man's house, behaving as if that house belongs to her, but her mind is always in that heart where in the poor condition in the village, her family is living, children are living. So you have to live in this world showing everybody that you are very happy, but within the mind you have to think, no, this is only temporary, this is not my place is in the abode of Sri Ramakrishna. That is the only way. Thank you.
Mukherjee Babu is asking, how can a university student or PhD student or MD student follow the path of bhakti and constantly think of God? As it is said in the Gospel, how can we have nama guna gan without diksha?
Diksha is, the Diksha will help you, that's true. Diksha means initiation. Taking the initiation means accepting an ideology and nothing else. You are accepting an ideology of Sri Ramakrishna. It is purity, it is love, it is unselfishness. That is one thing. Diksha helps because the Guru will give you a name, and naturally now you are forced to, bound to, because you have given the word to the Guru, to take that particular name and pray as per his instruction. But any student in any situation, I know that is very, very difficult, because those who are finishing their study in that way, it is tremendous pressure is there. But you can take that, the instruction, as one of the great disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gave, that is, we call him Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, the first president of the Ramakrishna order. He said, take out the picture of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and look at it before you start the work. In your case, before you start the studying or reading. Then in between, when you are taking little a tea break, take out the photo, look at it and keep it back in the pocket again. And finally, when you are concluding maybe in the laboratory or library and coming out, take out, look at it and say, Lord, this much I could do by studying, by preparing my notes or presenting this. I have done your puja, I have done your worship. Believe it, that will also help. Why? Because every intermittent time you are remembering God, and ultimately when you are free, when you are grown up, doing the job, and keeping this practice will help you to remember God every time.
Srima Vishwas is asking, is Lord Buddha and Bhagavan Krishna the same?
In one point, when we are looking from the point of view of the spirituality, of course it is the same. Each and every one. Do you remember, Sima, that I was reading in one place, I think 1 or 2 months before, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that Jesus and he are the same. When the Master Mahashaya, the recorder of the Gospel, when he mentioned, Sir, I think you and the Jesus are the same. Then Sri Ramakrishna, you, Chaitanya and Jesus are the same. Sri Ramakrishna immediately accepted, yes, all same, all same. I have written an editorial on that. All are same. And there the Sri Ramakrishna mentioned the same power. He took a dip over here and went under the water as if and raised over there as Lord Krishna or as Jesus. So that way he wanted to say same purity, same consciousness, manifesting in different name, different form, according to the need of the people at that time. So we believe that all are same. Thank you.
Shomen Das is asking, when praying I cry but cannot understand why am I crying. Is it out of fear or love?
Oh, this is very good. While praying you are crying means your mind is very soft and you really feel like that. And after that, do you really feel that you are a better person? That is the question. Sometimes emotion we cry, but maybe that emotion is not exactly for the God loving or thinking of God. So how you will understand that? Your mind will be broader and broader, and you are a better person, thinking for others, praying for others, trying to help others. And even with all the defects and faults, you can appreciate them as if your brother has made a mistake. So that is called the development in spirituality. So as Swami Vivekananda said, by saying this we will conclude, Vivekananda said, all were animals. Why? Because the body consciousness and nothing else. Then we have raised to the human level. Now we are thinking about others. It is not only survival, it is living. We are living for others, thinking about others, and then after death where we should go. All this is the human level. Now we have to be gods. And in Bengali, let me quote that, Chile poshu hoiacho mano ebar devota hoite hoibe. You were all animals and very self-centered. And then you have become the human. Now you are thinking about others a little. And you have to become gods, full of love and sacrifice for each and everything. So that is the process. That is the religion that makes a brute unto man, man unto God. Again, Swami Vivekananda. So that is the way we have to develop. Thank you, friends. And let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. Before that, let us offer our pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.